It says the key to taking charge is to change our mental models and the way we think about the world. So this is a book about overthinking and de-stress. I underline that because as a reminder that how you perceive the world is the world, that our perception is reality. The more she tries to turn her mind away from the thing it's worrying about, the more determined it seems to focus on them, and the more she tries to do nothing. So the idea here, they're talking about telling someone to stop worrying or stop being stressed, or in other words, like, don't think about so-and-so. It's impossible to do. One of the things for me, why I underline that, is the same with fear. Don't be afraid. Well, you can't not be afraid. So the thing that I did would train in preparation such that when I felt the fear, I was able to objectively look at that fear and say, it's unwarranted because of all the hard work that I did. So it's not that you can just turn something off. You have to figure out an indirect way around that thing. Our main goal in de-stressing is to pinpoint exactly what is going on in our heads when we overthink. I think the term is called metacognition. Metacognition is thinking about your thinking. And a giant portion of this book with overthinking is stepping out from that overthinking, being aware of it, seeing it objectively, and then moving forward. And what this chapter is about to talk about are some techniques to ground and focus our thoughts. When we can see the process clearly, we can then begin to take informed action. But the necessary starting point, awareness, which is what I just said. What is most important is that we maintain an awareness of ourselves. Here's a snippet as part of a bigger sense, but it says, by making sure that our lifestyle is supporting us in the way we need it to, and by including some form of mindfulness in everyday life. Making sure that our lifestyle is supporting us in the ways we need it to, meaning, so I'm someone who, that's why I'm reading the book, that I'm anxious a lot, I overthink like 100%. Is our lifestyle supporting us in the ways we need it to? Take that a little bit more broadly. Is what your goals, your aspirations, your hopes, your dreams, where you want to go? Does your lifestyle, is it in alignment, and or does it support where you want to go? So you got to make sure those two things add up. So there's two examples. One is an example in the state of anxiety, and one is an example in the state of awareness. In the awareness, it says, in awareness, you don't lose any conscious perception of what is going on, but merely take it all in without attaching negative stories, judging, or resisting. There's a really good idea in this book. I'll see if I can find the quote really quick, that talks about things being neutral. They might even say neural. Like things happen, and it's I've read it in other books, but things happen, and it's neither good nor bad, right? Things are, things are neither good nor bad. Thinking makes it so. There's a quote that I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's what you're perceiving. So an event is an event, and then how we perceive it, how we take it in. Environmental stress and pressure are neutral. They are not a problem until we pass them through our mental models and decide they are. So there's a lot of stuff going on. There's this, that, the other thing, bop, bop, bop. They just are. It's not until we apply our frame or our mental model to those things that makes it one way or another. When we are talking about stress management, we are not necessarily talking about getting rid of stress entirely. It's there. Life is stress. How we handle it determines our external state and internal state. It's about being aware without attaching anxiety-provoking narratives and judgments to that awareness. That is kind of me to a T. I put out a post today. I'm just prone to worry, prone to I hate to say it, but kind of negative. I'm prone to the negative, so I have to fight against it. And have you ever noticed, this is what I find fascinating, a picture perfect Saturday. Boom, you do whatever you do. That same day could be the most miserable Saturday ever. For me anyway, it's my mental space and frame for that day that determines, same thing happens, but how I am, I either make the most awesome day ever or like the worst day ever. Or anywhere in between. It doesn't always have to be catastrophizing. You can choose what you want to do about life's inevitable stresses. It mentions the 4 A's of stress management. Avoid, alter, accept, and adapt. So there are only these 4 possible ways to respond to any life stress. Avoid them, alter them, adapt to them, or accept them. There is a lot of aggravation in life that you can simply walk away from. I remember during COVID, I was getting all worked up about this, that, and the other thing. And my mentor and friend, Dredd, who helps me with everything, he said, you got to choose your battles. If you and I sat here and we just scanned the surface for everything that's wrong, a zillion % we can find everything that's wrong. But we can choose to simply walk away from some of those things. We can arrange our circumstances so that we don't have to be in stressful surroundings or with stressful people. two books, Irresistible and Atomic Habits. They talk about this concept. I think in Irresistible, it's called behavioral architecture. And in Atomic Habits, it's called environment design. But it is shaping your environment to align with or to be conducive to the things that you want. So for lifting or exercise or fitness or nutrition, like I have a gym downstairs. I have a cold tub downstairs. I'm getting a sauna downstairs. It's conducive to me wanting to be healthy and fit. Food, what you have in the cupboard, etc. Same with stressful people. John Gordon talks about this thing called energy vampires. And there are people who are just energy vampires. You can actually cut them out of your life. And you can actually choose to not go places that induce stress. When you avoid stress, you are not running away from obligations or denying genuine problems. You are simply learning to say no to stress that is unnecessary and harmful. Some of that stuff you can't get away from. Some of the stuff you can get away from. If something in your life is gobbling up all your time, you can say no. I'm super aware of my time and my energy and my effort, and I make sure that if I give my time, it aligns with the things I want most. And so I say no and or don't do a lot of things. And this is something I'm doing well. I don't over give my time. All right, I think that's it for today. First time I've done this, no idea how it's going to turn out, but I love reading, and I want to share what I read with the world without, of course, giving away the books. And I do want to encourage you to purchase these books that I do read. I deem them awesome books, or else I wouldn't spend my time reading them. Stop Overthinking by Nick Trenton. See you next time.